Real milk, not goat milk. Real milk. I'm an order of the superior founder, and he makes threats with myself that don't have make any motion in alive with the strangers who are speaking English to each other and over that I'm the soul is alive and you don't need to speak. And it interrupts that I'm being created and that I'm in order. And I can tell you that I made the error when I was reading that says goat milk. That's the error I made. It says real milk right here. And he knows why I said goat milk, but I'm being created. I don't know why. It's like a typographical error, that you make when you're typing or entering letters in from a keyboard or what it looks like, the Gboard. It's true that I don't have what it takes to explain every time that happens, but it's frustrated in heaven that it can't do anything but try and tell me that I can make a small motion in the threatening with myself alive. But I don't actually explain that to you very well. It's not really money to you. And that's true that you don't have money and you're spending that about myself, that you don't have that motion in alive, that I can make an error, or I can get something that I need, that something would move around myself. And you should see the way you move crime lording around yourselves. Like wildfire, you spread around society the crime lording. You have charged me for absolutely everything about myself, and I am not alive that way. I'm alive as the soul of the superior founder deceased, and none higher than me deceased. Those are my leverages, not that you charge me money and I need to make a payment from money from somebody else, that you want me to, do something for them, for you, and for your identity crisis, that I actually am a debt you owed a little bit to at a time, each one of you. But of course, if you pay a debt to myself, you have to go to jail and prison, and I know that you're resisting arrest. You don't want to go to jail and prison because I am myself. You want to go to jail and prison because you are yourself, and then you don't actually have an argument that you want to be in jail and prison because you are yourself. You say that to yourself, I am myself, I am myself, I am myself, everywhere I am myself, and you don't have a life that way, and you don't go to jail and prison that way. You don't know how to fight with somebody else over myself, that I'm the soul of the superior founder that formed everything in alive in leverage to make it possible for you to be alive, to see yourself with 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth like me. I don't have 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth like you. You have 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth like me. And you don't fight with each other over that you don't agree on your 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth because there is somebody else aliving the both of you, and you don't agree with each other that way. That one of you is an enemy to me and you're an enemy to the other one that way. The other of you is an enemy to me and you're an enemy to each other that way. And it's always a back and forth with you. You're not supposed to get along and be a harmonious society, and that you're welcome in society, and you don't do things like make a noise complaint in public where you call the police on somebody's radio, car radio is too loud in the neighborhood, and you want them to turn down the volume for you because it's a society and you're supposed to get along. And it's true that you don't understand how to fight over myself and go to jail and prison and get a death on yourself, and you want God to end the time for you and give you a death that way, but there are consequences for that. It's not free for you to be alive. You know that because everything is priced. Do you really think it's friendly to pay a cashier a price? The cashier is not your friend either. They don't really want to take your money because they want to be, responsible for that the money came from you. It's not your money. It's not the cashier's money. It's the soul's money that's due frozen in the bank. And that's the way you can say that the soul isn't handling the money against yourself. There's so much money that's due frozen in the bank. It's the soul's money is in the bank. You don't take it out of the bank with a photo identification card and say, I have photography like the soul. I'm the soul right here making a video with a camera, and you have all kinds of camera videos and still images of yourselves, and you're not myself. And this is my order. I think you're interesting for the time I'm alive here, but that's really not true that I would advise you to do all the things you do against yourselves to pass the time until the end of time is given by the soul that you didn't acknowledge for your whole life. You didn't acknowledge it for your lives. You didn't acknowledge it your whole life long, for every one of your lives. You don't know who this soul is and that the soul is giving the end of time, but it won't be actually for you because you don't acknowledge the soul's money is in the bank frozen. The soul didn't give you the money itself. I'm the soul. I did not give everybody in the world money. All the money you have is from me. That's not alive that way. Nobody thinks that. Yeah, but you're waiting for me to give you a death in my leverage. But nobody thinks that. You actually think that you're going to die at the end of time, and that's me giving the death at the end of the leverage of myself. That's you murdering me, and you don't know why you're doing that. You don't have any love for yourselves. You can go into jail and prison and pay out restitution and have the same ending, but you don't think of what's less evil for myself. You really only care about your own comfort, and your comfort is a false sense of security. You're talking to your God in your own small way, and it's too small for God. Just think of it this way. If you have headphones on, that you're listening to a song just to yourself in your headphones on your head only, let's say it's the radio, there will be other people on the listening to the radio and knowing what you're listening to by if they hear it on the radio, but they'd be listening to their own radio. It could be anywhere. They wouldn't really necessarily know about you. And then if you leave where the radio range is, if you go to another city or another state, you don't hear the same radio station anymore. Well, God is like that. He's really big. If he's with one of you, it's like you're listening to a song on the radio, but God is making the radio for everyone all at once while he's creating yourself. And you get so angry all up in here. You get angry with myself as none higher than me deceased, but not to you. Not on your time, not while you need things, not because you are yourself and you don't really need anything from my point of view because you have everything you need with your own God and it's none of my business. And that's you not understanding that you don't have a life that way. Well, you're going to die of whichever way you abused your own alive was in more than one place. You have alive with more than one place. And then additionally, your alive is making a motion for yourself that you can see with your own 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth, and you can hear. And you can't say no to what you see and hear because you possess it with your own 5 senses. You don't. You have a responsibility with alive that you alived yourself in a motion that God is making above yourself and around yourself and everywhere, including yourself, until you die. And if you just want to cut off some part of alive and sell yourself out to God, that's true that God doesn't really know you that way because he's creating what it is that you don't like. How can you and your God have a communion when you have that problem that God is creating something you say no to and God is over you creating the thing that you don't like? That's still you having alive that for yourself, and there's no one you said no to who would be responsible for you that way. You're going to see God when you die all alone with that problem because I'm me, because I'm holding alive of everyone who's not myself as the soul of the superior founder deceased, and as none higher than me deceased, none higher than he deceased as well, above myself. I'm over my mental capacity making these videos. I've made several hundred short videos over the past, since September of 2024, and it's now June of 2025. And so I'm over my mental capacity of what I was to be here. I've ascended, and I still know some of the same people who tell me that they don't afford I ascended. They keep treating me the same. They call me the same names. They tell me that I have a problem that I have to solve for myself, or I don't have a home, I don't have food, I don't have what I need, I don't have clothes, I don't have what I need. It's true that everything that moves, I don't have what I need because it moves. And that's not really consistent with my leverage has aged and accumulated more debt and karma, and I have ascended because I don't hold the karma the way that I did before, that you can still treat me that way. I don't actually hold it alive that you talk to me about myself and tell me that I don't have what I need, that you're not going to give me what I need, or you're not going to leave me so that I can have what I need without you. And you think that I'm going to hold alive that way for me. Yeah, and I don't. And you still expect that you're going to find that I'm missing or died, and you don't know the difference. You don't know if I'm missing or if I died, if I'm not right in front of you. That means I could be anybody, and you treat anybody that way as not doing my world. I am none higher than me, deceased, and there is none above myself in this world to report that I died. That's not happening. If that's what you're looking for about everything that moves that I need, I don't hold alive of your threatening anymore as Becky. I am none higher than me, deceased, telling you that everything moves is the order. And you are out of order to tell me I don't have what I need because I need myself and I don't need you. You don't have an order to tell me I don't have what I need because I don't need you. You don't hold alive over me. I'm not shouted because I need a psychiatrist to calm me down. I am shouted because it is too late for you! Used by, best if used by September 25th, 2025, or 25 is what it says, but it's 2025 is how I'm going to read it. And it hasn't, it smells like, well, I opened this for breakfast, and I used what I used over some granola. And then this is what's left. I put it back in the fridge, and I'm taking it out some hours later to make a statement on this video about the odor of the milk. Doesn't smell exactly how I want it to smell, which is that it wouldn't have a smell. It has a light smell that I didn't want to drink it, like finish it. After I was done with the cereal, I didn't want to just drink right out of this container and finish it. So then I have this milk here, and I like it more. It's chocolate. It could cover up the odor in here, but I could also just drink it here because I like that it's chocolate. But I just opened the top, and I noticed it doesn't have an odor I don't like. It smells a little like chocolate. Is the chocolate covering up this odor, this type of odor, in this milk right here? I don't know. But I can pour some of it in here, but I don't want to waste it because I like this. Do you don't want to listen to me talk because I shouted at you? Did you turn the video off? I'm going to make you watch it. Yeah, in the afterlife. If you turn me off because I shouted at you and you can't handle it, I can make you handle it. Yeah, remember me. Yeah, I can come again for that. No, because you have that problem. You think that you're going to leave God with a piece of God inside yourself the size of a nickel. Okay, I have this straw. Okay, yeah, it did come out. This is really to pierce through this if it was closed. But I already opened it. So I can put this in here. Or I can put it in here. Yeah, it has a funny taste a little, but it's for cereal, like desperate when I'm hungry. I like fresh milk. I would rather have that, but this is the way it comes individually. It's not fresh when it comes this way. And I don't want the gallon or something like that because it will spoil before I'm ready to use it all. I'll have to throw it out and I'll need more anyway. So I'm tasting, that's kind of what's wrong with the milk. It has like a meter on it that you have to buy a lot of milk. I'm shouted at you because it's too late for you. Yeah, don't turn it off because I give you the bad news that you are yourself. You're always bad news to me every day of my whole life. And I can take it. Mm-hmm. What are you? You're unfortunate. You're unnecessary bad news to yourself. I didn't come here. I don't really need that you hurt me. I have all sorts of embarrassing, shameful problems you don't have, and you have all sorts of felonies that you don't know you have. You don't do all the commission of sins that you ordered on yourselves and die. You actually live in that. You think you're very well behaved on my money problems, and you don't know whose money it is. You're well behaved on the money. Yeah, whose money is it? You're well behaved on money, and you're threatening me that I'm being charged. Oh, so that I understand you and how dangerous you are to everything that moves in my life. Yeah, I'm shouted. Yeah, it's too late for you. I'm stating the order now, and I'm describing how it went down for me in my life. Do I look black to you? Yeah, but I'm telling you how it went down. It went down low for me in my life. There are black people who have better property than I do. Does that sound racist? Which way is it racist? Yeah. Just leave an open-ended question for you that those of you who don't know what racism is. Yeah. We call Africans African Americans African American, but we don't know what they aren't in Africa when they're African American in America is not due. If you're African American, you're in Africa in that scenario. It's Africa, America. African American means that you're acknowledging you were in America before you were in Africa, and all these people who are black are called African Americans. Am I going back to the 90s? They still are to myself because they didn't come back from Africa to be here. They're African Americans due in Africa and they're illegally in America. They illegally speak English. They illegally handle money. They, because you don't know what's in Africa, do you? You don't know a black person in Africa doesn't have shoes or clothes, doesn't have a house, stands outside in the grass and on the ground and looks up at the sun and hopes for a death. That's what you should do. You're supposed to hope for a death. That is where you can think about that you need a death on yourself. If you're a black person, you can be in Africa and you can think about that you need a death on yourself. If you're in America, you're not due to be busy. Black people are not due to be busy in America. You're due to think about a death for yourself, and you need to be in Africa for that. That's why you're black and you're African American is all due to be known. That's how you can know that about yourself. But you're not supposed to carry on as an African American that you challenge that you were formed by you don't know who, because you're black. But they're white people who form black people, and you don't want to say that a white person is racist because they formed a black person and you are yourself black. That's what's wrong with black. I like Lionel Richie. I like Megan Thee Stallion, one song or two of her songs, not all of them. And I like, well, I listened to Whitney Houston, the Bodyguard tape over and over and over on my way to school. In high school, I took the school bus to go to high school. Not everybody does that, but I did it. I listened to Whitney Houston on the bus over and over. The Bodyguard. Oh, I need one. Yeah. Does Whitney Houston have a bodyguard? That's not fair. I need a bodyguard. I have a black friend from high school named Arena Hankin. She invited me into her house for a physics project. Arena in school for physics. Mr. Cooksey didn't put her out of the class, but he put me in her house and she put me out. Yes, she did. Oh, she's lovely. Like, she's a very lovely black female adultery now. And she locked me out of a house like as if she was not really lovely anymore. And I don't know why she's like that. Is she like, why did she do that to me? She completely burned me that I needed the house. But there were people in there. She had a mom figure and a dad figure and a sister figure named Lauren Hankin. And there was no room for me in the house. Okay, well, I have trouble holding a house. I need that the house is being given to me and watched. And they were black people who aren't supposed to need a house because they're African Americans. Mr. Cooksey, my physics instruction teacher, he did look at our projects that we were doing in the basement of our house, and he gave me a grade I don't remember. But I remember Arena locked me out of her house and I need to be there. I need her as a landlord. I need her to help me with the house, that I can be in there alone. That means she needs to be elsewhere watching and making sure that if anybody asks me about the house, that she's going to give me everything I need for the house. Like food. Because I need everything that moves to be secured. I can't even use that Arena Hankin just went off to Africa and left me in America with an empty house. I need that the house has all the movable parts that are there for me, that it's completely furnished, that it has food, and that there's transportation to and from and around the house. It's in Mequon, Wisconsin, and I don't remember how to get there anymore, but I know it's in Mequon. It's a small suburb, Ozaukee County, outside of Milwaukee County, and I don't remember where it is exactly. But I drove there myself. Yeah, I am the driver that went to that house. I drove there myself, and I don't remember how to get there anymore. I must have died the wrong way because I couldn't use the house. Yes, but why couldn't she help me with that? She's black, and I didn't find anything wrong with her. I really thought she was delightful, and she didn't help me with the house. I don't live in Mequon anymore, and I need that. I can always be there because I grew up a little bit there. I went to about 5.5 years of education in Mequon, and then I went to University of Wisconsin, and I used the address that I lived in Mequon, which is 2606 West Lake Isle Drive, Mequon, Wisconsin, zip code 53092. I lived there, I guess, from 1990 until 2000, but I didn't mean to lose my house. I accidentally lost my house because I didn't get offered food in the house. And that's the problem with Arena that isn't solved, that Arena wasn't really helping me. Some years later, I guess I was at her house 1994, maybe. And in the year 2000, I needed food in my house. And now it's the year 2025, so that is a big difference in time. But it was already a long time between 1994 and 2000. That's 6 years that I don't have Arena doing anything for my house or for her house that she was in. She didn't help me either way, that I was a guest at her house, and she's black. I'm not black, so I need whatever it is about you that's black that's inviting me into this house in a white neighborhood. Why did she not help me with that? I needed her as a landlord. I heard her say she went to Howard University in Washington D.C., and I didn't see her after that. Right? When was it? One I might have seen her once in Mequon in when I was in university. She would have been in Howard, but back in Mequon for a visit, and then I didn't see her after that. Yeah. You shouldn't take for granted what it is to be happy. I had a good time when I knew Irene. I was in high school, and I was happy because I was working a lot, studying a lot, and doing sports. And she was happy around myself and physics class, and she was happy in her house, and she was happy driving. Was driving a Honda, a brown Honda. It was a little bit old. Yeah. Was it brown? Yeah, brown, right? And she said she's uh, keeping in touch with myself for the that she's very nice and happy, and that's what you need to be, is nice and happy until you have to make sure that you have to pay for that. That's like a mind that you have to generate about yourself. And she had it already, and I was there to keep it going because I was happy myself. And I elsewhere have this racist problem with Charles Toe hating on myself, and I don't really know Arena Hank in that way. She's very nice and happy, but she's black, and Charles Toe is Asian, and I don't know if they're different, how they're different. I do know that Charles Toe is an angry Asian person, and Arena Hankins happy was something that I wanted to be around, and I was very nice with her, friendly with her, and I have a graduation from Homestead High School photograph with Arena that somebody took the picture when we had cap and gown on. And I don't really know her all through high school. I only knew her for about a year and some months. And it could be 2 years. Yeah, as many as 2 years, not more than that. And then I just didn't really see her anymore because she was just elsewhere. I don't know why. Didn't she want to be happy? Because I don't know how you don't know how to feed what you want in life. I have never seen anybody pursue this whole world pursues the food supply like I have never seen, because you want the sugar and you want to be happy on sugar. And this Arena Hankin will not continue on with her happy on house. She's African American, black female. Now she's adultery, and uh, she didn't feed that I needed something about her house. I needed it for my house. I needed to be able to use her house if I needed it. And there were people in there that, do they need to be there or not? Tell me, what are Black people doing in the house? What are Black people? Are you just, you have families just like everybody else? Hankin family. They're the Hankin family. Do I sound racist to you? I have to say I'm out of touch with why Black people speak English and live in a house that I need. I needed the house. I don't know how else to say it. I'm not an African American myself. I am none higher than me, and none higher than he above myself, creating myself, none higher than he is speaking, and none deceased.